Welcome to WordPress for Educators, where educators come to learn WordPress. Now in our last video we talked about themes and adding a theme after you've found a theme inside of the WordPress repository. And this time we're going to begin to build out the structure of our website. So if you remember in the first video, we have our website content here. So these are the pieces of information that we want that are personal to you. And then these are our pages that we're considering. For sure, we'll do the first three. If you had a projects page, then creating a new page for projects would be very similar to creating the About page or the Contact page. Let's go ahead and jump back into our website here. We're going to go back to the WordPress admin. So now we're on our dashboard. And what we want to do is we want to begin to create these pages in this page structure. So the way that we do that is first we need to go and we need to make sure these pages exist. So if we roll over the pages menu item here, we can see that we can look at all pages, we can add a new page, or we can copy a page that we previously created. So what we're going to do now is let's just take a look at all of our pages that we have. Right now we have an About page and we have a Contact page, which is two of the pages that we need. And then we also need a CV page, right? So let's go ahead and make the CV. So we click Add New, and then you can see we can enter some sort of title here. Let's just call it CV for now. And then down here is where all of your information on the CV page is going to go. There's a lot of information going on this page. So this page is the page creation part of the website. And anytime you want to make a new page, you would click Add New, and then you could come to this page. Many of these things you can find more information if you click Help. So it teaches you about the different pages, how to insert media into the pages, what some of these things over here mean. And then if you need more help about different things as far as using a WordPress page, then you can click up here for specific things, or you can look here for tutorials and walkthroughs that'll help you become kind of a pro at using WordPress. And I would encourage you to do that if you really want to learn WordPress in a more thorough way. But right now we're going to concern ourselves just with this part here. Excuse me. And right now let's just put some dummy text in here. Just so that we know whenever we click on it that we have the page and it's ready to go. Now you can see up here that it's created the link. So for my website, wp4educators.wordpress.com/CV. Okay, so that's going to automatically add the title of the page into the URL. So this is a default thing that WordPress does. If you want to change this for some reason and you wanted to make it and you wanted to spell it all the way out, then you would put, if it's a 2-word or 3 words or however many words there are, the typical way to write the URL is 1 word dash, the 2nd word dash, the 3rd word dash, the 4th word, and on and on. So if you wanted to write curriculum vitae, then you would write out the whole thing and you would press OK, and then that actually would be the link now, as opposed to your website.com/CV. Now it's the full thing spelled out, yet the title remains the same. If you want to go back to it, all you have to do is click Edit, just erase this, and click OK, and then it returns it back to the original page title. So it defaults to the page title for each page. Right now, there are parent types of pages, but right now we're just going to stick with no parent. We don't need a featured image. We don't have any discussion allowed. You can choose to leave the likes or the shares on. What it does is it allows people who are logged in to like your page through the WordPress system, or it shows some sharing buttons so that people can share your page. All right. So when you're finished, you can either click Save the Draft if you're not ready for it to be public yet, or you can preview it, which allows you to actually see the page. So while you're working on it, you can see what the page is going to look like. Or you can go ahead and publish it. So when you publish it, it makes the page live on the internet. Now for our purposes, someone would just have to know that they would have to know this URL and type it in, because we don't have any kind of link to this page on our website yet. So it would be live, but in reality, unless someone just knows to type in that address /CV, then they wouldn't know, how to get to this page. So we can pretty safely publish it, even though there's not much on it. If you wanted to make it a draft, you could. And a draft is it's a page that you're working on, similar to writing a first draft. It's something that's not meant for people to see, but it's meant for you to be able to work on it. And when you're ready, then you would click publish. And once you published a page the first time or a post, now you're not republishing it, you're just updating it. So if you make a change, then you would click update. And update is just like save in a word processor or any other program that you would use. And now when we look at the changes, we can see that our changes have been made to the page. So this is how pages work, but it's also how posts work. And I've showed you preview pages. You could also view the actual page. I like to do this in a new tab, just so that I keep the one I'm working on right there. And you can see that this is our actual page live online, so that if someone typed that in, then they would come to this CV page. Okay, so now we've created our pages. So we have our About, Contact, and our CV page. And what we need to do is we need to go to Appearance and Menus. So this is where you can go through and create new menus to be placed throughout your website, or you can change the existing menu. Now in our website now, we have a menu on the left side here that says Home, About, and Contact. Now we do definitely want to keep the Contact and the About page. Those are part. If you'd like to keep the home page, that would be okay. It's common knowledge that if you click on the logo or the title of the website, that it goes back to the home page. And I'm actually going to show you how to set up the About page as the home page. This is going to be kind of the page where you sell yourself. Think of it as a bio, or think of it as kind of a cover letter. Not written in a cover letter format, obviously, but similar information that you would put in a cover letter in order to tell people about yourself, your experience, what kinds of things you're doing, and where you're at currently. So if you want to keep this homepage link, you can. I'm going to take it off, and I'll show you how to do that. You just click here on this arrow, and it opens up to some more options that you have. I'm going to click Remove, and then it takes it right off of the menu. If I save the menu, and I go back and I refresh, now you can see that it's taken it out of our menu. The page still exists. There's still well, that was a link, I guess. That was a link to the home. But if you had a page called Home and you had it in there, or if I took this, remove this About page, then the page would still exist. It's just not inside of this menu. Now the way we add new things to the menu is you can come over here. We can add pages. We can add posts. We can add a custom link, which is what the home page was. So if you had a link, let's say to an outside website, or maybe you have a website on your university's or your school's, like you have a page on their website, then you could actually link to that page right here. And then whatever you put here is going to be the text that people see. So similar to whatever this text is, that'll be what they see right here. And then you would click add to the menu, and then it would come over here, and then you could rearrange it into the menu. You can also, if you do a blog, you could also have categories over here, so that when someone clicks the link, it takes them to a page that shows all of the blog posts with that category. The same thing for tags. And then for format, we don't have any items here. I can't imagine that you would use that. But we do have pages is normally what we're going to use for these menus. So that's what I'm going to teach you. If you want to learn more about some of these, again, there's a contextual help menu up here. And you can get help, again, through some of these links and going to this tutorial walkthrough here. So we have our About and Contact, and we need to add our CV page. So you could view all, if you had a lot of pages, you could search for a page. And then it also shows you the most recent pages you've created. So it'll most likely show up here if you've just gone through the steps that we've taken. So let's click on CV, and then we will add it to the menu. It always adds to the bottom of the menu, so just keep that in mind. And then one of the great features is that we can actually drag. So I'm just holding down the mouse and dragging it into the position that we want it to be. Now right now it's About, Contact, CV, and that's what we see. It would be About, Contact, and then CV would show up here if we saved it. What we want to do is I want the CV to go second, and so I'm going to have About, CV, and then Contact. We save the menu. We refresh our page, and now you see it's About, CV, and Contact. So we have our 3 pages that we've set up. If for some reason you wanted to make a submenu, that's actually quite easy as well. You would just take this, and instead of having it right along the left edge, you can see that it gives me an outline that's underneath. You see how it indents a little bit? If I just drop the item right there, it tells me it's a sub item, and it'll be a drop down item from whatever is above it. So if I have it here, it's a drop down of Contact, and if I have it here, it's a drop down of About. And I'll show you what that looks like. Let's update here. Now you can see we have a little arrow here on the About, and when I click down, it shows me a submenu of the About. And then I can click that up and back. Some of them, some of the themes will be different, so maybe when you hover over, it'll show a drop-down menu. So if you have a lot of items, or these pages are top-level categorical pages, then you could always put that underneath like that. For our purposes, very basic. We're just showing who we are, and we don't have too much information there. We're just going to make all of these pages top-level pages with no sub-navigation. So we'll save that. If you did want to change the name to something else like main navigation or left navigation or something like that, you could change the name of this menu and then click Save. Right now we have 2 menus. We have a primary menu, which is the one that we're using, and then we have the social links menu. So right now we can actually look at that. So if we click here and do select, then it shows us our social links. Now that's what's showing up here. So you can see it's Twitter, Facebook, Google+, GitHub. So Twitter, Facebook, Google+, GitHub. So these links here actually are custom links, which is what I told you here. So they link out to a different place. Now what you want to do is you want to put your full address. If you have a Twitter account and you want to link to it, you would put your full address from Twitter into this space, and I'll show you that. Let's see. This is my Twitter account. So it's going to take me here, and this is the part that you would get. So you would just come up and highlight this, and you would copy it, and then you would come back to your website on WordPress, and then you would paste it in. And then now it's going to, when someone clicks this, it's going to go to my home page. Now you can decide this is the part, the navigation label that that someone might see. It's not as important here because it's not just a text link. But when we save our menu and we refresh, now we can see down, if you look down here at the bottom, you can see when I roll over it that twitter.com/BrianHafferkamp comes up. And then when I click this, it'll take me to the page. So it's pretty cool. And you can do that for each of these social media links. You can actually choose which ones that you want to do. I would assume that you could do, let's see, I have one at Behance. Let's see if it'll automatically change that. If I save that, let's see if it'll automatically pull that in here. No, it didn't recognize it. That was something else. So let's do, okay, so here's my Behance profile. Let's see if it recognizes it. It's definitely going to recognize the larger social media accounts. Let's see. Yeah, still not recognizing it. So it's obviously going to work for these larger ones. So Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and GitHub, that's a big one too. But if you have one on a less well-known social media site, it looks like it's just choosing something different. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I'm going to remove this one, and I don't use Google Plus much, so I'm going to remove that. So I just have my Twitter and my Facebook. I'll save that. And now when I go back to my page, I believe it was here. No. Sorry. When I go back to my page and I view the site, then now I just have my Twitter and Facebook account listed here. So maybe you have more, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't even want the social media menu to show. If you don't want it to show, you would just untick this box, click Save Menu, and then your social media icons won't show at all. And then it'll just be kind of a clean look with your name, your position, and the pages that you want to put on your personal website. So I like that. I like how clean that is. I like that it's to the point. And maybe on my contact page, I can add some links to my social media accounts. So let's go with that. So that is our menu. This is going to be our main menu. And these are just top level pages, the About page, the CV, and the Contact. So in the next video, we're going to start getting into more personal information and how we can make changes, like adding your photo, adding something different for your title here. And remember to also, if you've missed one, you can always go back. This is a series, and so you can go back and start from number 1, or you can take your time going through it, or try to learn WordPress as you're working your way through it. Again, I'm assuming that you're going to do some of that work on your own. And what I'm trying to do is kind of teach you the program through actually building something at the same time. So join me in the next video. And if you have any questions ever about any of these videos, or you have a question about WordPress, you can always contact me. You can find me on Twitter. So Brian Hafferkamp is my Twitter handle, @BrianHafferkamp. Or you can send me an email, Brian, BRIAN, @highwaywebconsulting.com.